Okay, I've talked about Digimon dub localization names that I personally prefer, think are better than the original name, but you all love when I get toxic, don't you? We love positivity and spreading light and cheer here, but sometimes you guys really come through to see me be me. And so, on today's video, to fulfill a promise, I'm going to be talking about my personal top 10 worst Digimon English dub or general localization names. This video was sponsored by our regular sponsor, Buyee. Make sure you sign up with my exclusive link in the description down below to get a free 2,000 yen coupon off any purchase at Buyee. As you know, they support Yahoo Japan Auctions and Shopping, Mercari, Rakuten, and Rakuma, as well as many more, but they now also support PayPay Flea Market. When you search Digimon into there, wow, you can get yourself a ton of bargains. Figures, model kits, bags, Hatsune Miku, cards, V-Pets, and much more, all available on PayPay Flea Market with Buyee. And they also have their Add to Buyee browser extension, which lets you shop on websites like Amazon JP, Yahoo Japan Shopping, Toys R Us Japan. Add stuff to your Buyee cart and then check out on Buyee, which makes for an even greater deal when you use that 2,000 yen coupon. So thank you to Buyee for sponsoring this video, and let's get to it. What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX, and welcome back to another video. And yes, on this video, I'm going to be talking about 10 Digimon dub or localization names that I think are just awful. And I'm talking specifically about the English localization, the one that I'm familiar with, the Fox Kids, or Beyond, Saban, etc. dubs, as well as video game, card game, VPET decisions that I think are just ridiculous. So while it does say dub in the title, I'm using that as kind of parlance, a shorthand for dubs, translations, localization, a bunch of different stuff across the Digimon franchise. And we begin with Medical Gallantmon. Honestly, whenever I'm mad at something in Digimon, please don't take it too seriously. I'm mainly here for the yucks. So some things do slightly boil me inside, but this one isn't one of those. Medical Gallantmon. This was a decision made for Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, but also happened in the Vital Bracelet app. Thankfully has been remedied by the current card game. They've gone back to Medieval Gallantmon correctly, but Medical Gallantmon being this medal in Cyber Sleuth, for example, was so hilarious that it has become a pervasive fandom meme, to the point where me and my friends and many other people, when they're playing Medieval Gallantmon in the card game, will still call him medicinal, medical, whatever it might be. Starting with a really easy softball for number 10, but it is no doubt one of the silliest localization choices in Digimon history, because he's obviously a medieval Gallantmon. Is he a doctor? He got a scalpel? A stethoscope? No, he's got a big spear and a cape. Come on, Bandai Namco. Then in a similar case of miscommunication or translation is Doru Greymon. This is again very high on the list because it doesn't personally offend me that much, and because I can really see how it happened. In the original Japanese, it is Doru Greymon, so you can definitely see how it could have been thought that it was a Doru Greymon, especially with its kind of draconic appearance. But no, it is Doru Greymon, and unfortunately this is one of those localization changes that has caused headaches in the modern day. Back when they did it, decided to call him Doru Greymon for localization, it didn't matter. But now we have a card game where it's very important what Digimon's names are, where abilities proc on conditions such as name containing or just Digimon named, which meant when Doru Greymon got added to the card game, it was made clear that it does not count as name containing Greymon, alongside Dex Doru Greymon and the Digimon that started it all, Burning Greymon, who didn't make this list because I actually like the name Burning Greymon, but all three of these now have a unique distinction in the English card game as being Digimon called Greymon who do not contain the name Greymon. Similar to how Kendo Garurumon does not count as name containing Garurumon. Also, funnily enough, Mega Gargomon is treated as not containing the name Argomon because of course he should have been Saint Galgomon in JP, but Algomon is also a common spelling of Argomon, so he might have been shafted either way. But the funniest one to me, Blimpmon does not count as Impmon, guys. But it's crazy the echoes, the ripples that one or a couple of people's decisions way back in the day can have on something as important as card game rulings. People do championships for these things, you know? Crazy. And speaking of a decision made long ago that has now been repealed, thankfully, I hope we'll never see it again, calling Cherubimon Kirpimon. The reason this is so stupid to me is unlike, say, Doru Greymon, which has a meaning, or Medical Gallantmon, where medical is at least a word, Kirpi doesn't mean anything. It doesn't help explain the Digimon better than the Japanese name. It doesn't allude allude to a different basis. I guess it's just to avoid using the word cherub or cherubim, but why would that be worse than Angemon, Devimon? You know, I can kind of see why Demon got censored, even though it's stupid. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I think it's just actively bad, because rather than trying to censor or cater to a market or give a different take on the same meaning, it just makes me think of Kelpies, I guess, which are like a type of shape-shifting water creature in Celtic mythology, which has almost nothing to do with Cherubimon. I guess you can be charitable and say that it does shape-shift between vice and virtue, but no, terrible name, Kirpimon 0 out of 10, glad we've got Cherubimon in the card game and stuff. And yeah, speaking of Daemon, my next pick for a terrible dub name is Creepymon. Daemon's actually really cool as a name, first of all. I love the way they use it here. Very simple, using the mon suffix in a creative way. But if you wanted to avoid the word demon for religious sensibilities or perhaps a fear of associating Digimon with the satanic panic, again, I don't know why demon would be worse than devil monster, but I'll let it slide. You could have gone with something a little bit less stupid, you know, Clawmon or Darkmon. Not great, but better. Actually, that's interesting. We have a Darkdramon, but not a Darkmon. Creepymon is just cringe, the worst crime of all, and actively makes the Demon Lords less threatening by its existence. A couple of Demon Lords have actually been censored, Beelzebumon becoming Beelzemon, which I've got no problem with, it rolls off the tongue better, and Lilithmon became Laylamon, which, you know, isn't great, but it could still have basis on stories like Layla and Majnun, whereas Creepymon is just like creepy, cool. Now, before someone comes to me in the other video, yes, I did say that I prefer Myotismon to Vamdemon. I want to be very precise here and say I still love the name Vamdemon. Myotismon just stands out more to me. But another reason why I don't love Vamdemon is that it's actually a lower level than regular Demon, and to me the name Vam Demon, Vampire Demon, would be adding on to Demon rather than, you know, being a level lower than him. Especially as they were created the same year, so they kind of knew that both of them were in existence, but that's 100% my own personal issues, not a problem with Demon or Vamdemon specifically. Alright, let's move on to Ranamon, who in the card game for some reason has been called Lanamon. We were doing so well. Apparently this Lanamon thing has happened before, not just in the card game, but they sure did do it. Rana is Spanish for frog. That is what connects Ranamon to her being the water spirit. And Ranamon, Calamarimon, and even Ancient Mermaimon, each being a different kind of creature that lives in or around water. Frogs, squid, and fish/mermaids. Whatever. Why the f would you change it to Lana, whose name in this context means nothing? It's just a girl's name. Lana! So I actually googled what the name Lana is supposed to mean, thinking, oh, maybe it's got some hidden connection to water that I don't know about. And apparently it means shining light or blessed. So no, not really. It would probably be connected better to the light spirit. I guess you could say water is reflective, I don't know. Also, Lana is anal backwards and, well, you know, TCG players are immature, so you can imagine how that goes. Then is Leopardmon leopard mode. It's just a bit redundant, isn't it? Leopardmon gets a leopard mode? Oh man, can't wait for Tyrannomon Tyrannosaurus mode. And well, yes, Leopardmon is based on a leopard, even the humanoid form, and I can't say Duftmon, apparently coming from Duft, the German word meaning scent, I guess to track a scent, is much better. I don't know, but surely the dub could have either kept Duftmon, which is a fine name, or called the mode change something different, like, I don't know, Leopardmon animal mode, Leopardmon tracking mode. There's a lot of options there that aren't Leopardmon leopard mode. Next up is Varodorumon, and this one is just inexcusable, guys. It's been a recurring thing and is now a thing in the card game. Getting even more silly when Valdemon and Chaosmon debuted in the same set of the card game, getting a solo card called Varodorumon and a Chaosmon card called Valdearm in the same set, Bandai Namco. And you know what? I'm being generous here because even Valda is a mistranslation or miscommunication because it's based on Balder. Yes, of, well, not Baldur's Gate fame, but certainly made more famous by Baldur's Gate, in Norse mythology being the son of Odin and Frigga. So I'm letting that slide, willing to let artistic liberty take its toll. How in the same set do we have a Valdearm, do we not have a Valdemon? To me, it's not even really about choosing Varodorumon. I'm personally a fan of some weird kind of Japanese pronunciation names that didn't need to be that way. Arukenimon and Kurosarimon hitting the ear much better to me than Varodorumon, although Kurosarimon is also pretty wordy nerdy and unnecessary. It's just about the fact that they'll let both exist at the same time and no one thought to check. Like, it's not likely to happen, but again, we could in a few sets stumble into the situation where there's like a name containing Valda, and then they'd have to make a new clarification that Valderam and Varudorumon are treated as Valda. Just frustrating localization choices. My third to last pick is Vermon. This will always be a sore spot for me as a stupid nerd who likes to know the meanings of like abbreviations and acronyms. For example, did you know LASER is an acronym standing for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation? And it annoys me in this situation because Vermon is supposed to be Bemon. This is somewhat to do with the very easy confusion in Japanese between the V and B sound, similar to the L and R situation. They are very similar phonemes to Japanese speakers, but it is supposed to be Bemon, spelt with a capital B-E-M, because B-E-M is short for bug-eyed monsters, a name used for aliens, largely in conspiracy circles, although maybe not conspiracy anymore. I don't know. It's actually the same name origin as the Pokemon B-E-M, but it feels like no one in the localization team noticed this or has continued to notice this. Now, it could just be for consistency, because back in the day, Digimon World 3, it was translated as Vemon, and translation issues were much more rife across the entire gaming landscape back then. But if that's the case, and you're only doing it because that's how it used to be, why are you inconsistent? You also misnamed Medical Gallantmon and still changed his name to Medieval Gallantmon when you got a chance to update him for the card game. So no one on the team noticed the Vemon thing? They were like, oh, Vemon, it kind of sounds like Venom, is that it? I'm not mad, Digimon TCG localization team. You do a fantastic job. I'm just disappointed. Alright, our penultimate pick is Kentorusmon. This is a bit of a mythology nerd thing that I have. I do like Greek, Roman, and Norse mythology, although I'm not like an expert by any means. I'm sort of a mythology himbo. But choosing to call Sleepmon Kentorusmon is stupid on two levels. First of all, Sleepmon's name comes from Sleipnir, which was Odin's horse. But this isn't a situation like Tapirmon, where a tapir and a Baku are kind of the same thing, a Baku being a mythological interpretation on the real creature of a tapir. Kentorusmon, of course, gets its name from the centaur, like Centaurmon. Except it's not a centaur, is it? Because it's got a horse's head. It's just wrong. Kentorusmon isn't a man's body with horse legs. It's just a horse with a long torso. A stretched out horse. It's not a man horse. Digimon videos are weird. And that brings us to the last one. The one that has frustrated me since it showed up in, I believe, Digimon Eirias, has also extended to the card game and probably beyond. In Digimon Adventure Last Evolution Kizuna, spoilers for a movie that is 3 years old at this point, almost 4, Gabumon and Agumon obtained their last evolutions, becoming Agumon Bond of Courage and Gabumon Bond of Friendship, or Yuki no Kizuna and Yujo no Kizuna. So when localized, Gabumon Yujo no Kizuna becomes Gabumon Bond of Friendship. Therefore, naturally, the Agumon bond, based on Tai's crest, which has been long established in the franchise, would become Agumon Bond of Bravery. What? Huh? Excuse me? This one blew my mind. Because you know what? I could actually get behind Agumon Bond of Bravery. If we're going for a thing where it's like, oh, synonyms for the crest, right? Keep it a bit more mysterious. So you could have like Agumon Bond of Bravery and Gabumon Bond of Companionship, loyalty, something that indicates friendship and something that indicates courage, but using slightly different words to shake things up. But no, we get Bond of Friendship matching the crest of friendship and Bond of Bravery matching the crest of courage. God damn it. Localization issues where there is a slight mess up. A translation goes wrong with Vemon, fine. Sleepmon sounds weird. It sounds like he's sleepy, so they pick Kentorusmon. Demon might offend people, so we choose Creepymon. I still don't get that one. But the crest of courage is like the probably most iconic symbol in Digimon history, alongside the other crests. There's nothing wrong with courage. He's a great dog. It's been fine for like 20 years of the franchise to call it courage, and then they just decide this one's gonna be Bond of Bravery? It really does get my goat, more than it probably should, but like, why? And again, if it was a mistranslation for Eirias, fine. You have the opportunity to fix it with the card game, and they just stuck with it. They're like, nope, we decided that. That's what it's called. Its official dub localization name is Bond of Bravery. I just don't get it. It's just Bond of Bravery for no reason, but at least now we can have an Agumon Bob and Bofa Gabumon. And that's it. 10 Digimon dub localizations, pretty heavy on the TCG. Names that I just cannot stand, or at least make me laugh and go, why did this happen? And again, none of this is actually too deep. They kind of rile me up a little bit, but generally it's all in fun. And I know how much work goes into into the production, localization, translation, shipping, etc. in products. I totally am understanding when things go wrong. It is just a bit of fun. Thank you to my Sovereigns, ZDK14 and Jamon, as well as my DigiDestin, Tamers, Karn Club, and everyone else who supports this channel with their hard-earned money, and just by watching. Make sure you watch the video on screen right now. Watching more videos, liking videos really does help absolutely massively in the algae rhythm, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.